Today we're going to go over test pits in borehole geophysics, the necessity for a test pit prior to committing expensive and delicate instrumentation to the actual drill hole in order to record the information necessary. So when we think of borehole geophysics, we're talking about subsurface testing for environmental reasons, gaining information as to concentrations of gamma rays, isotopes, effects with groundwater. All of these sorts of things are necessary. Sometimes there's instrumentation committed that continues to gather information. It's a progressive way of gaining information. Sometimes it's just a single point where they get information from one particular strata in depth at one point and that sort of thing. But before you commit the delicate information, the delicate instrumentation to gain that information to a real borehole, you need to dig a test pit. Test pits are an essential prerequisite to borehole geophysics. The importance of test pits can be seen in the following things I have here on the board behind me. One of the most important things in doing a test pit is it allows you to calibrate the instrumentation. If you think in terms of gamma ray spectral striping, if you can dig a test pit where there's known isotope concentration, then you can correctly calibrate the test instrument to that known isotope concentration in the test pit before then committing that instrumentation to the actual borehole. So it provides the necessary prerequisite of calibration for the instrumentation. So a test pit is important for instrument calibration. Secondly, test pits are important for a preliminary study of below surface conditions. You may not know exactly what's going on beneath the surface, and that may be part of the reason for the borehole geophysics in that area. We want to know more about what's going on below the surface. Well, we're going to dig a test pit to give us a preliminary idea of what's going on beneath the surface here in this particular area. What are some of the areas that we need to be aware of? And this brings us to number 3, what superficial units may impede actual drilling in that area. The test pit gives you an idea of what sort of superficial units you'll have to deal with in digging the actual borehole. So you're gaining preliminary information about what's going on beneath the surface. You're being able to gauge superficial units and other things that may impede drilling and other problems. You're calibrating your instrumentation. All of these things are critical, once again, because the instrumentation is so delicate, is so expensive. They need to be properly used. You don't want to lose all the data nor have it compromised because you didn't take this one necessary step of digging the test pit prior to the borehole. It's a similar thing that we find across the board in a lot of different areas. The idea of measuring twice, so you only cut once. We want to do the test work first in the test pit prior to committing the instrumentation to the actual work so that we have backup redundancy. We don't lose it all or compromise it all so that time and money and effort are lost, including perhaps expensive instrumentation. All of these things play into the necessity for test pits in borehole geophysics. If you'd like to learn more about this or related matters, underneath this video there's a link. If you'll click on that link, it'll take you to the website that has that information, and while you're on that website, you'll also find a link to an ebook that's ready for immediate download.